Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Khairul Amzar bin Jasmin. So today, me and my partner will be present about our study, which is understanding existentialism and intertextual analysis on the abstract. Moving on to the table of contents. So our presentation consists of background, method, findings, and conclusion. Background of our study. This study analyzed one written text, The Telltale Heart, a short story by Edgar Allan Poe, and a spoken text, Waiting for Godot, a play by Samuel Beckett. The Telltale Heart was published in 1843, while Waiting for Godot was published in 1952. The objective of this study is to examine how existentialism conveyed in both texts and to identify the underlying messages that the authors try to deliver in the short story and the play. So the methodology that we use in this study is an intertextual and representational strategy. Moving on to our findings. For Waiting for Godot, this play also called as a theater of absurdity. The absurdity can be seen at the very beginning of the play, which is this play start with Estragon saying nothing to be done. This verse shows that Vladimir and Estragon are in the condition hopelessness. So refer back to the definition of existentialism. It means each individual is responsible for giving meaning to life and living it passionately and sincerely. Throughout this play, Vladimir and Estragon are just waiting for a person named Godot who they believe can save and change their life. It shows that they are in adversity when they do not even know the purpose of their life. In the play, Vladimir and Estragon has only one goal, which is wanting to wanting to pass the time during their waiting. To reach their goal, they devote themselves to criticizing each other and asking each other questions. For example, this is the part of the short story. This is the part of the play. Vladimir says that passed the time, it would have passed in any case. And later, when Estragon finds his bird again, Vladimir said, "What about trying them? I've tried everything." "No, I mean the boots." "Would that be a good thing?" It passed the time. I'll show you it'd be an occupation. So this is for the hopelessness. And the next, the sign of absurdity that can be seen in this play is forgetfulness of Vladimir and Estragon. Estragon cannot recall what said immediately before the lines, while Vladimir also exists in a state of forgetfulness, although he possessing a better memory than Estragon, but he distrusts what he remember. It is the result of the author Samuel Beckett having difficulty to keep dialogue running for so long. For example, about the forgetfulness is Vladimir saying to Pozo, "We met yesterday. Do you not remember?" And then Pozo reply, "I don't remember having met anyone yesterday, but tomorrow I won't remember having met anyone today. So don't count on me to enlighten you." From the dialogue above, it can conclude that no one else in the play remembers them. Who are Vladimir and Estragon. So there is one another signs of absurdity, which is a repetitiveness. From the existentialism of forgetfulness, it shows that Waiting for Godot has a structure of secular and repetitive in nature. There are only four similar sections in this play, which are: first section is Vladimir and Estragon arrive and wait, Pozo and Lucky come and leave, Messenger or a boy arrive and leave, and then the last one is Vladimir and Estragon left by themselves again. This play only consists of two acts with the same setting of place and time. It is another proof that display is repetitive. The setting of display is a lonely road, and This play start in the morning and end with the moon rising in the sky. So I will pass this presentation to Ameer.
And in the telltale heart, there is also repetitiveness, where if you look at the line, every night about 12 o'clock, I slowly open his door. For 7 nights, I did this, 7 long nights every night at, at midnight. And also, louder it became and louder. Why did the man not go? Louder, louder. In the first excerpt from the telltale heart, we can see that the narrator did the same act over and over again, and this is a sign of existentialism where sort of actions don't have any meaning anymore, and that he does the same thing over and over, and he repeats that act only later on to finally kill the man. There's also a repetition of the word louder, and there's a lot of words that are repeated over and over again in the telltale heart to further emphasize that repetitiveness and highlight that repetitiveness as well.
So the genericization for Waiting for Godot, which is the author only used the character as a boy. This is the only one character who being genericized in the play. The author does not even give a name to this character, while other characters have a name, like Vladimir, Estragon, Pozo, and Lucky. It shows that the author more concerned about the other characters who live in absurdity. This boy knows the purpose of his life. We serve for a man named Godot and send messages to Vladimir.
In The Telltale Heart by Edgar Allan Poe, genericization happens to all the other characters aside from the narrator. So there were the policeman, the old man, and one of the neighbors. None of these characters were given a name or given a personality or a characteristic. Um, so this shows that in existentialism, what we can understand is that this is something that is experienced by the individual. And in this case, it is the narrator that is experiencing this existentialism. There is a lot of mental process used in the telltale heart. In this excerpt, it is impossible to say how the idea first entered my head. There was no reason for what I did. I did not hate the old man. I even loved him. He had never hurt me. I did not want his money. So all these are examples of mental process of affection, and this evaluates the perception that the narrator has towards the old man. And how this relates to existentialism is that absurdity in existentialism also includes uh, trying to rationalize things around you when sometimes there are just things that cannot be rationalized. And in this case, the reason why this man wanted to kill the old man is something that he tries to rationalize but does not succeed in rationalizing. There's also material process that is used a lot in the telltale heart. In this excerpt, every night about 12 o'clock, I slowly opened his door, and when the door was open wide enough, I put my hand in and then head. And my hand, I held a light over with a cloth so no light showed, and I stood there quietly. Then carefully, I lifted the cloth just a little so that single thin small light fell across that eye. For 7 nights, I did this, 7 long nights, every night at midnight. So this uses a lot of material process of the narrator doing actions. And the reason why this is related to existentialism in this context is because the narrator has no control over these things and he is just doing it without understanding why, without thinking about why he is doing these things. And that is also part of existentialism that is also shown in the telltale part. In conclusion, what we can see is in the discussion or in the discourse regarding existentialism, there are some similarities between Telltale Heart and Waiting for Godot, even though they were written like 100 years apart. And what is similar there is one, in terms of in absurdity, the repetitiveness and how that shows the actions are meaningless. That is a part of existentialism. And secondly, regarding the waiting for someone that is unknown and like doing acts that are that do not have any purpose or do not have any meaning. We can also see existentialism. Yeah, so we can also see existentialism through in waiting for Godot as well through the generalization of the characters and which characters are more important than the other characters. And in existentialism, it is the individual characters that experience it, and therefore they are highlighted and not generalized. So that is the end of our presentation. We thank you for your time listening to our presentation. My name is Amir Fahmi bin Ishak, and this is my partner.
My name is Khairul Amzar bin Jasmin. So that's all for our presentation. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.